Today is October 23rd. It is a Monday, 10:21 a.m. Welcome to another episode of Crypto Wars. Before we start today, a financial disclaimer: nothing you hear on this show is financial advice. Cryptic Education is not responsible for any recorded losses with the buying or selling of a digital asset. Yada yada yada. Anyways, so today we're going to talk about the word bubble, the bubble. But yeah, so I'm just looking at crypto, and I don't think it's a bubble. I'm not a person who uses the term crypto bubble. Okay, I don't think that's the case. But I do think economically we are in a sort of bubble, which then kind of leads to a bubble in crypto in some ways. But I don't know how to explain it. I wouldn't say it's a bubble, but I'd say it's maybe a little overvalued. But the real bubble is in the things like the indexes and the mainstream stocks and, corporations, the banks, and, But the thing is the bubble is controlled by the same people that are inflating the bubble. So it pops when they say so. So you can speculate as much as you want, but it's really not in your control, So you could say it's going to do this, that, but it only pops when the man with the button says it pops. So, or at least the men with the button says it pops. I don't know. You hear of all that insider trading laws, and that's all bullshit. So once you get high enough, there is no insider trading laws. Like they own the government at that point. When you talk about seriously influential people in the economical system, which they do exist with the federal bankers and things, they do have a lot of control. It isn't. I don't know. Anyways, so if you look at it right now, the Dow Jones is just completely skyrocketing, right? And Bitcoin is also skyrocketing. I'm not necessarily saying that these things are an attached correlation, but it is suspicious how they are correlating, okay? Both have really strong, powerful upward movement, right? And that's probably because we all know that they've been inflating the dollar for so long. It's just starting to catch up. So everything goes up in value because it's attached to something in the real world. Even the indexes are attached to some sort of production, versus just the dollar, which is just basically an evaluation of your wealth. It's not really attached to a form of production, so it's just stagnant. That it just stays. That's why it stays put that way. There's no volatility to it. But what I'm getting at is that you're looking at a correlation between the indexes and cryptocurrencies in a lot of ways. There's just a lot of high risk investing going on, I'd say, at this point. Not really long term. Crypto is long term, and don't get me wrong with that stuff, but I think it's going to reflect pretty soon. Things are just going to slow down. It's not that it's going to pop and just. Maybe I think a lot of these cryptos could go to zero. I do think that because a lot of them are shit. Most of them are shit. It's amazing that they're even still existing right now. I don't know. Just I've been in the space so long, and then all of a sudden you get all these new ones just popping up. It's no different than the other system. In the sense of, just issuing worthless money kind of thing. So greed goes on both sides. You got to really pay attention to the projects in which developers can really even build on the technology. Because the technology is so advanced that most people can't even build on it. That's why it's difficult to tell, which coin is going to be the best. I don't think... Of course, it does have to do with the blockchain, but that has to do with the leading developer anyways, usually. So I don't know how to explain it. But, you know, if you're in the right coins, you'll always be fine. That's the truth. But if you're not, it's a gamble. Because that's what you're doing. You're gambling. Because if it's wrong, it's a gamble in the sense of, like, you're just taking risk in something you're not educated about. You don't know what's behind the curtain. So. At the end of the day, well, what I'm getting at though is that what you have is so much, you know, student loans, money printing. People just have a lot of money in their pockets, and they want to avoid not the inflation, I'd say, but they're willing. I don't know. It's kind of like this thing where people are getting sucked into investing right now, whether it's Bitcoin, the Dow Jones, you know, people are just eyeing this tear of investing kind of thing. It's like, you know, it's most people are like sheep, they're followers, so they don't think about investing until they hear other people doing well investing, you know, so they follow, and that's majority of people. You know, it's odd to think that people wait till the wrong time to get on, but that's the majority of people because they just want to follow, you know. And so it's difficult. It really is to comprehend and understand. But I think what I'm getting at, though, is that I think gold and silver and junior mining stocks are very undervalued compared to cryptocurrencies and the indexes. Now, that does not mean you go and buy tons of gold mining stocks. Remember, this is not financial advice, for educational purposes only. But that looks like the way things are playing out. I see three sectors, right? Like indexes, crypto, gold, and silver. You know, and when you look at those three indexes, you know, one of them has been downtrending for the last 6 months, and then obviously it's been downtrending for years, but at least the only one that's downtrending for the last year or 6 years were crypto. Crypto is still going to be very bullish, don't get me wrong, but I think you're going to see just a slowdown until 2018 because you got the holidays coming up, and it's just not in people's minds, I'd say, or it's not going to be. You know, things really tend to slow down this time of year. So it's like, oh, I gotta wait till next year for anything, you know, anything. I don't know. But just keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on the correlation between the Dow and the crypto space. Not that they're directly correlated, possibly delayed. I don't know. I think right now they do share some sort of a correlation. You know, you just got a lot of money out there. You know, it's not necessarily that. I don't know. I mean, people see the inflation rate, but they don't know what's circulating and what's not circulating. You really don't know. There's no way to tell. There's no transparency, you know. So people say, oh, the inflation rate's this, the inflation rate's that. Yeah, but what's circulating? What larger loans are given out to corporations? There's so many things, so many factors to like play in. That's why people are moving towards blockchain, because it's all transparent, you know. So the fact that there's no transparency is just, it's scary when things are like that. That's why you have things that happened like 2008. There's no transparency, so no one could see these things coming in some way, you know. Yeah. Peace.